Thank you very much. My name is Tom Mulfainer, or Diamonanda from CC Institute. We were watching the walk for quite a period of time, and very honored to be here. I do want to ask a little bit about. I understand there was a monk that got hit by a car, and he got hurt and actually lost his leg. Could you talk a little bit about that and what happened? Because we felt very sad about that, and we did hear him talk a little bit in Washington, D.C., and his message was very uplifting. Thank you.
Monk Ron?
They're debating who's going to answer it.
Okay. So the question was about the accident that happened in Houston, and he wants to know more in detail of what happened that night. And that night was pretty tragic. I remember it very vividly as well. That day, or that night, actually before the sunset, I had this bad feeling as well, that something was going to happen. But I think our leader as well, he felt something. He was like, okay, all right guys, let's put on your reflector suits. And I was like, okay, this is rare, because most of the time when we walk, we normally make it before sunset. But this time we had a little bit ways to go before we actually arrived to our night location. So everyone got their reflector suit, put it on, and we started walking. And that night, or that day, the person that were in question is Ajahn Mahadam. That day, his leg or his foot was hurting. And he asked, can I walk in the back, because I'm using the back as well. And you're like, yeah, of course. If you feel like you're going to be slow, take your time. Feel free to walk in the back. So we start walking. We took our last break at the gas station. I think we had some ice cream. And we started walking, and the sun was getting ready to go down, and that bad feeling came again. So during that time, we got into the rhythm of walking very fast. I want to say maybe 3 to 4 miles. I don't know if that was fast, but it was fast to us. That is a fast walking pace. And we had our emergency car with us as well. They followed behind us. They had their blinkers and lights above, telling the driver to slow down and be careful. But we only had that one car. There was no other car in the front, so we didn't have any patrols back then, because I guess we weren't that popular or well known. So we walked on the side of the highway, and every time we do that, there's always traffic or fast cars going by, zooming, because they can barely see us. I don't know if you remember driving on the side of the road and you see someone on the side, you can't really even see him, right? It's just so fast. So we're walking, the sun is kind of still out, you can still see. You see a bunch of monks reflecting. But now a lot of people were tired as well. The front, they were zoomed, and they left a gap. And I was in the middle part. And then the back part, they were so tired that they also left a gap. So that night, we weren't walking as we would normally would in a line and with no gaps. And so the sun went down. And the visibility of us started getting worse and worse. And the cars were just zooming by, which is weird because normally they would slow down if they see like an emergency car or reflectors, but they didn't slow down. I'm not too sure why, but then all of a sudden you hear a screech of a car, and then a huge crash. And my first reaction was, I grabbed the person in front of me, I pulled him on the side of the road, and worry about our safety first, and then see what happened after the crash. And come to know it, we see Ajahn Maha down, lying on the floor, face down. And I can remember looking at him at the side of the road. His mouth was bleeding, like a lot, and there was a lot of blood on the road. But he was still awake. He was still holding on. But we didn't know what happened to anyone or who else. And after that accident, our team leader and everyone went to go, to the back where the accident happened. And the back of it was all messed up. It was all crashed in. And what happened was, he was coming at full speed. I think it was 70 on that highway, and he hit us. So hit the emergency car, right, that was following us. And that car, that van, the emergency vehicle, hit our monks and the 3 people that were behind there. And that car, we also swerved to go to the right side where we were walking. And thankfully, remember that space I was talking about? Yeah, we went through that space. That's amazing, right? Because if there was no space, guess who was next?
You.
Yeah. I mean, to really think about it, I'm also lucky because I'm usually in the back as well. But this time, Ajahn Mahadam was tired and he took that last position. So I'm very grateful as well and very sad that this accident happened. And the worst part of it was we just needed to walk maybe 10 more minutes. And that was our night location. So we were almost there, almost. And that was my version of how I saw stuff with the accident. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. There is a lot of anger in the world and a lot of anger in our country. And I was imagining that you saw and experienced some of that. And I wonder if you can talk about that and how you dealt with it and if you saw any hearts change.
That moment, I think is really good for us. Why when we saw somebody to have a different mindset, different thought. But for myself, I feel like, oh, that's good. Because he talking about peace. We talking about peace. If we have peace, we don't have to again to fight to each other. But for me, When I see him, I feel like, oh, I want to get in touch with him. I want to talk with him. Because in my mind, what he believes and I believe, maybe he thinks it's different. But for us, it's not. It's not different. Why? We believe the same. We was born on this world with the nature. Everyone we have nature. Why we think it's different? I want him or her to understand. If we understand about the nature, in our teaching, we have nature, the earth, the air, fire, but justly we separate between body and mind. Right now we want to talk about mind. We don't want to ask someone give us the peace, but we want to practice. If we understand each other, everything, every religion, every belief is the same. We need peace in our mind. So I feel like we have a family, but in our family is the different mindset. But one thing is the same. We have suffering. We don't need suffering. We have to get rid of suffering, and we will have peace. You know, the guy, he protests us. I miss him a lot. I want to talk to him, you know, but I just worry about my English and about he will misunderstand. But I love him a lot. A lot of people, but only him is stuck in my mind. I love him. When he talk, I walk really tired. When I heard his voice, I feel like, oh, I got there already. I got that location. So it's like he raised me up, and I want to understand with him. I want to talk with him. But one day, that's a really good time. He came to us, and we talked to us. That's I feel, you know, very good and very peaceful, and I want to keep going to talk to him. Yeah.
Okay, Chris have questions here, and thank you for the question and answer. We're gonna keep moving a little bit so everybody can share the question. Chris?
Thank you so much. And I actually think that this is the perfect follow-up. It was a deep privilege, along with Pani and Phone and a few others, to have joined with you in Washington. And it was a profound experience, but there was one experience for me particularly that really resonated. And it came to me, I'm going to say almost like an epiphany. It wasn't something I expected or something that I rationalized, but it just all of a sudden occurred to me. We were with you when we started out from the National Cathedral, and there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people there. I, in fact, stopped 4 different police officers along the way and said, "Is this what you expected?" And every one of them said, "We expected a lot of people, but we did not expect this." There were so many people. And we talked to many of the people that we were walking with, and they were from all over the country that felt it was important to join up with you in Washington, D.C. So this was my epiphany. I'm sure you remember that we walked down Embassy Row behind you, where there were all the national, international embassies. And diplomats and their staff were standing out on their porches. They were standing at the end of their driveways. They were waving to us. And all of a sudden, it occurred to me that you and those thousands of us who joined with you We're sending a message through these diplomats to the world that this is who we really are. This is what we really care about. This is a message that we share. This is something that is so important to us that we have come here to share in this moment in time from all over the country. And I wonder what your thoughts are about that.
Okay,
Thank
so,
you, Chris. Thank you.
so to summarize her question, Chris had a trip to Washington D.C. to come out and watch us walk, and she was an observer. She observed what most of us would probably miss. And she had the courage to walk around and ask to find out as well. And what she realized was that the message that we were trying to have awareness of, people are coming out for that. And she could see that by the large crowd, that we all share this message, that we want to have this message, this peace. And so her question is, what are our thoughts about that? And I want to say, yes, it is a very wonderful observation, and even if you don't observe it or realize it, you can feel it. You know, the energy. You come up for something that, you know, that pulls you. You may not know what it is. It might be our robes, the crowd. But once you see a group of monks walking, something just emanates or radiates. Like we are sharing our light, our peace with you guys. And that it does exist. And it gave people hope. I believe that was one of the most important things was hope. Maybe a lot of people doubted us in the beginning, but in the end, you know, it was the brightest light ever. And that was one of the things that I was grateful for, is seeing everyone coming out supporting us, especially during the last talk at the Lincoln Memorial. Yeah, the view of the people stretching out all the way to the back of the reflection pool was overwhelming. It was awesome. And the love and support was amazing. Thank you.
Before we move on to the next question, it's not really a rebuttal, but it is a follow-up to what you just said and to Chris's question, which is that the Walk for Peace in no way, shape, or form was meant to have any kind of political message. Now, how intentional was it to see that walking down Embassy Road, where all of these international political embassies were located, that these dignitaries, these political dignitaries from all over the world came out to welcome you, to support you, to stand by you, to stand with you, even though they were political and you guys were not. But it did not stop them from coming out to Embassy Row to support you. And again, I'll repeat it. The Walk for Peace, there was no political message. Did it make you feel anything, or John made you as well, to know that your message was peace for the world? But you had these political leaders coming out to support you. And not just Embassy Row. Every single state that you went through, you had all these political leaders, whether it be senators, governors, mayors. I mean, to have touched political leaders like that. What did that mean for you guys?
First of all, I don't understand well the patient. But I just would like to talk in my mind. We walk for peace. We need peace. I don't feel whatever you are, whoever you are. I walk through the embassy. Embassy, I feel that is the house of the governor working. Working for whom? Working for us, for everybody. The government, they work. They need their people have peace. But I never think that is different with us. Everyone, every people, every human on this world. I feel like our family, our relationship, our brother, our sister, everyone don't want anyone to harm you. If you don't want anyone to harm you, why you harm other people? If you don't want someone steal yours, why you have to steal other people? You love your family, you love your husband, you love your wife. But why you do the sexual misconduct? You don't like drinking. But why you drink? You don't like liar. But why you tell the lie? So for myself, everyone, every country want to look at yourself. To know about who are you, what do you want. We need everyone, we need the same. You know? So why we don't want you to attach with your race, with your background, with your country. We live in this world, it looks like the same country, the same world. We was born in this world together. We should love each other. If we have love and kindness, the mind is open for everyone, for everybody. So when I was in Washington DC, I'm so really happy that I walked to the holy place, the big church, what they call? Yeah, National Cathedral. Yeah, we go inside. It looks beautiful. The pastor, and everyone come to go there. We need the temple, the church. That is the holy place. We go to worship. We go to practice our mind to be calm, to be peace. So why we don't need anyone to throw your hatred to another people? We should have a compassion to each other, that we will have peace. That's in my idea or in my mind. but I'm not sure that I can answer the question or not.
Thank you,ขอบใจกันหน่อย I have another Fred here would like to ask a question. Come over here, Fred. So he's the camera guy, but he has a question too.
I just would like to know from the three of you, what is your definition of peace? Because I think that most people, and even maybe some of us in the room, look at peace. When we say peace, we're looking for someone else to do something. That's not something that we're going to change within ourselves. So I just want to ask, when you say peace, what definition are you putting on that word?
Good question. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah, thank you. So the question was, to sum it up, he wanted to know our definition of peace, because it can be kind of vague if you don't really understand it. Peace can be understood or seen in two ways, externally or something that you find within. Most of the time when we're busy living our lives, working, having a family, we'll think about external peace. We want to rely on our friends, maybe our family, to protect us, the community or the police to protect us, to keep us safe, to keep our community safe, and then lastly, our government, from going to wars with other countries. That is also a form of peace. And there's also another form of peace that I mentioned was also an internal peace. And this is very also important that we can't neglect. There has to be a balance, right? So this peace that we're talking about is peace that you can find within, that you can practice, that you can find and share. And I don't know if you guys noticed, in the beginning we didn't have a flag. You guys noticed? We didn't have a flag when we were walking. But then maybe a few weeks or maybe a month later we had a flag. And on that flag it has 5 words on it. I like to call the core values of peace. And we can start from loving kindness, compassion, hope, harmony. Did I miss one? Love. Yes, that's correct. So these are the values of peace that we're talking about. Oh, and compassion, yes. I think that's the one I forgot. These are all qualities that we find in ourselves as human beings. Is that correct? These are all human qualities. So, what we want to teach was to achieve all these good qualities of peace, you would have to practice something called mindfulness. To be mindful, it's something so easy, yet deep and profound, something that we do ourselves, practice ourselves, to have peace within ourselves. Because once we have peace within ourselves, people will know, people will see, people will feel it. And just as you guys seen us walk, you guys can feel it too, right? The peace. And you can share it, just like we did, just by being aware of it, by knowing how to practice it. And that is the piece that we want to have everyone be aware of, which is inner peace. And with inner peace, we can have world peace.
Thank you, Jana. Okay, we have a couple more questions maybe. How long we want to go?
I want to share about the peace in this question. I am really enjoying to talk about the peace. For myself, I think we have to separate about the body and mind. We need peace for the body. What do you need for your body? You need food to eat. When you eat, when you feel full, you enjoy to that. We should have the clothes. We should have the house to live. We should have the medicine to take care of yourself when you get sick. That is the body. You should have peace about the bodies already. In the United States, I think you are hungry. You have a lot of food to eat. You have a lot of clothes to wear, maybe too much, too many. How about the house? You have the house. But just only you want the 1 house, 2 house, 3 house. When you get sick, you can go to hospital. You have insurance. You have Medicaid. You have Obamacare right now.
No more Obamacare.
You should have peace in your body. Just only your mind. The mind is really hungry. Hungry of happiness. Hungry of compassion. Hungry of loving kindness. Why we have to practice? If we practice about mindfulness, we will know everything in this world is impermanent. Nothing is permanent. Nothing belongs to you. But sometimes right now you have a lot of things. But you suffer with that. For example, I have a business. I have a millionaire. I am very wealthy. When I die, who is to take care of this? They have suffered about that. But I don't think so in this country. We don't have peace, we're hungry. We don't have food to eat. We have everything. So we would like to pray for the world, for the other countries. We'll have what we have right now. If we don't have hungry, we have everything, but it's not everything what you need. If we have too much greedy, we never have enough. Whatever you have, how much you get, never enough. But we should have free from suffering to be attached to that. Thank you.
Okay, we probably have a couple more questions maybe. Lisa, you want to go first? Let me have a little girl go first. We don't have a young question here. Young girl person, I'm so proud of you. This is one of my Sunday students. Can you stand up and introduce yourself and ask questions?
I'm Crystal. I was wondering if I could ask about the dog I saw
I know Luca is coming up. The question about Luca. I thought we had a brother of Luca here today. I don't know where it is. But I didn't want to know if I should talk about Luca. I think everybody want to hear that, especially the young one here.
Okay, so we had a question about the peace dog, Aloa, and she wanted to know more info about him. And Aloha was a stray dog. He was a dog in India. And the story goes that they also had a peace walk in India for, I believe, the same amount of days, like 120 or so days. And during their walk, there would be a lot of dogs that would follow the monks. I'm not too sure why. Maybe because they fed or had good energy or compassion for the dogs, and the dogs felt it, felt the energy, they could feel it too. But in the end, those dogs, they just kind of wandered away after a few days or maybe a week, except for one. And that was Aloha. He actually completed the walk with us. And I guess that's what touched the leader's heart, Ante Panikara's heart. And he decided that he wanted to take care of him and bring him along the other journeys as well. So after the walk, they came back to America, but they couldn't bring Aloha with them right away because there's rules about bringing animals to the United States. They have to make sure that his shot records are up to date, that he's healthy, and he's not in danger. So they went through all the checks and did all the paperwork to see if they can bring him over. And once they did that, Aloha did come over, but he had to also still be detained for, I believe, like a month before they were able to release him. But after that, he was able to come and stay in America as an American. So yeah, he has his own Facebook page. I don't know if you guys know. He has more followers than me. Kind of does. Yeah, they call him the peace dog. Do you know why they call him the peace dog?
Why?
Not just because he walked with us, but he had a special feature on him. If you look on his head, yes, he has a heart, like a heart shape, right on his forehead. If you want to go back and look on his Facebook page. But yeah, he walked with us for maybe 2 months before we started seeing him limping and having troubles with his leg. So they had that checked out, and there was a problem with his leg, and they had to do surgery on his back right leg. But after that, he didn't really walk with us. He did a lot of moaning and crying though after us. Yeah. And we would hear him every time he was put in the RV. He would watch out the window and make his noise or his whining. But he was a great dog, very friendly, supportive. He loved all the monks.
Good question.
Good question, Rico. And he get a lot of toys. I saw that, I'm not sure. Are we gonna close down about 3:30? Maybe we have a couple more questions?
What really touched me was, everything. Everything touched me about the walk and totally put such hope into my heart. And I shared it with people and they all just lit up. But there was one thing that really struck me. Besides the fact that the things that came up, even the things that were called bad things, seemed to have a lesson that was shown to how the monks behaved to them. One of the things that happened was in a very crowded auditorium. It was at the end of the walk. I'm not sure where you guys were. but there was a woman that got hurt or something, and there was, the room was so packed that nobody even could sit down. So there was a bit of chaotic energy. And something happened to a woman, and there was like, people were frantic, and I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name, the monk that speaks and led the walk, I just can't remember how to say it. And so he just told everyone to just be still. And he talked about merit, which really was so beautiful, and how everyone was to get quiet and put their hand on the heart and just come into their heart space with compassion. And everyone followed. I mean, it was amazing to witness. And he talked about later, and everything worked out. The woman was fine, she was taken care of, and it was the opportunity to explain about merit and how we can have merit for someone else in the way that we get still. And can you talk a little more about that?
Great questions. What about the merits? Can we share your merits to others?
Yes. When something happened over there, I was in there, and Pati Panyakalahi said, okay, calm down, and get the nurse to help her. We can pray for her. Pray for her. That is the benefit of mindfulness. When you practice mindfulness, like your mind calm down. Your mind calm down. Whatever happened in that moment, you never worry about. You have to know what you should do, what everyone should do, And at that moment, we don't have to shout and like, oh yeah, like this. We have to pay attention back to ourselves, to breathe in and breathe out, and our minds calm down, and we have some idea to help. The mindfulness have a lot of powerful ideas in your heart or in your mind, and like Patyanakala, he practiced mindfulness a lot, and his mind is like an open mind. The open mind can understand what happened at that moment. No sidetrack. He said no sidetrack. Because we know what we should do first and later. That is why we say practice mindfulness is really important. We will get the answer for mindfulness. Like what we have a lot of questions in our mind. Why I do like this? Why I do like that? Why that people do like this? Why these people do like that? We always complain to each other. But when we practice our mindfulness, we understand ourselves and our people, and we don't want to complain each other. Yeah, that is the power of the mind.
Thank you. Share the good energy. Last question, maybe? Unless that you have so much. Okay, two more. I take my breath.
Two more, one more, keep going.
How often do the monks practice mindfulness on a daily basis? And can you give us advice on how we can practice mindfulness in our busy schedules? How can we take time?
Yeah, that's for myself. You have to give your time. In the morning or evening, you should give your time to leave some home to live somewhere else. And at that time, at that moment, about 10 or 20, 10 or 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you can just meditate, sit meditation, and focus to breathe in and breathe out. At that time, try to make the mind heal. Whatever you think in the past or whatever in the future is not coming. Don't think about that. Don't worry about the past. Don't think about the future. And that moment, try to make the mind to calm and breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Just feel in the nostril. Focus on this. Whatever you see, because if you close your eyes, you can see in your mind. But you said, see. You close your eyes. You heard many things to your mind, and you try to just listen and let it go. Whatever you hear, listen and let it go. At that time, try to mindful about breathing and breathe out. We teach two techniques. Number one, just feel. And the other technique, we can count numbers. Breathe in, breathe out, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And start once again. 1 to 6, start over again. 1 to 7, 1 to 8, 1 to 9, 1 to 10. If you lost it, you don't have mindfulness. You cannot concentrate to your mind. And keep going until you will feel by yourself. When your mind to calm down, and at that time, you feel so peaceful by yourself. And whatever, when you go to work, when you working with someone, or you feel like peaceful for them, that is we try to practice in the morning or evening. In the morning, when you go to work, you set in your mind like what you want to do today. When you meditate before you go to sleep, you leave your worry, what you work in the back. You don't finish that. You know by yourself, and you live in your office, in your company. It's not, you don't have to bring your problem to your home, to your family. When you go home with your family, at that time it's your family time. It's not your working time. But sometimes if you don't let it go, you bring your problem to your family. And you get mad at your wife, at your kids, at everyone you know there. So why we need at that moment, at that time, the mind will try to make like an empty mind. But that is really difficult and really detailed to talk about this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we gonna wrap up? And we're gonna have one more final question. And we're gonna say thank you and Aloa before we go, okay? And Chris have something to wrap up and thank you. And last question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kapjan. We're here on the land which was originally home to the Seneca people. It's the Anandawaka. They were one of the 6 nations that comprised the Haudenosaunee Confederacy until John Sullivan's campaign pushed out the people of the Great Hill. A lot of the agricultural traditions, like making maple syrup, planting orchards, and growing corn, were destroyed during that time. My friend Angelina is from the Sac and Fox Nation, and we both volunteer a lot with the Native people here. across the continent, there have been so many times where people have had to walk the way that you walked across the country, the continent, which we can call Turtle Island too. I'm just curious if you felt a connection to the many people who before were displaced, and maybe how it felt in your body when you were in certain different places, if you have anything to share about it. Thank you. So the history that she mentioned with John Sullivan, for those who have not been in elementary school for too many years here, is going back to the American Revolutionary War, right, 1770s, before the U.S. gained its independence. There were many conflicts, many wars, especially one led by General Sullivan here in New York State, right, where Finger Lakes area, Penn Yan area. Those conflicts created a lot of displacement for people who have lost their home, lost their way of life, similar to what's going on right now in the world. Did you want our monks to kind of share? Oh, and then with the French and Indochina, and what happened with the French colonization, right, of Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia, formerly known as Indochina. What were your thoughts on how those conflicts caused people suffering and losing their home, their land, their property, their loved ones? Is that close? Thank you.
Okay. To kind of summarize it. Okay.
How does it feel?
So she wanted to know, according to the history of the lands and the people, of our background and our roots, and she wanted to know how we feel and how we connect, I guess, with them, and also wanted to know if this was also familiar as well during our walk. Yeah, right? As far as connection, I love this word. We are all connected. We may not know it or feel it, but it's something that we always carry inside of us. It's something that follows us, I guess you could say, like an energy. Because connection stays for a long time. It's a bond. And every place that we went, especially during the times when, in our history, when we were having troubles, especially during the protests, the slavery down south. I remember going through the Selma, Montgomery area. That was very strong. And a lot of memorials there. We walked through one place. It was a memorial for all the ones that sacrificed their life, were killed, were hurt, were everything done to. And these monuments were pillars. And on these monuments they had written names of those that were remembered. But for those that weren't remembered, as we walked through the memorial park, there was a waterfall picture. That one really touched my heart really. And on that waterfall picture, it mentioned something about this inscription is for the people that were forgotten and lost and whatnot. And I was surprised that we stopped there. It was a beautiful waterfall. It was inside inside of the outside, I guess you could say. We stopped there. It was very peaceful. You hear the waterfall and the silence. And all of a sudden, our whole team stopped and gave a blessing. And after we gave that blessing and spread our energy out to these lost souls or the forgotten ones, everything just felt lighter. Not just for me, but like the people that were also around us as well. And with this feeling, you know that our ancestors are always with us. They always have that connection with us. And we can also pass on our good energy to them so that they can be relieved from their suffering or move on in peace or to that next destination or place. So it doesn't matter if we are still alive or passed away. We are all connected in some way. We may be reborn, as family, as a mother or a father. But we're all connected, and it's a cycle of life. Thank you.
Thank you for all the questions and answer. I thought it was the last question. Okay.
Can you tell the details which really touched my heart over the native and you passing through and the next stop where that the native is dancing and their connection. I thought that this connection between the spiritual of the Buddhist monks and the monks that walk.
No one will answer.
Thinking.
Okay, that's for the last question. And you have to throw them off.
The native, the Indian, and the Indian. Yeah. That's I miss my home time because in our country, back to Laos, we have meaning about that because the dance is not only dance. Every dancing, they have meaning. Some dancing to heal the people who get sick. I just thinking about in Laos. When we get sick, we ask who has the vinyan or spirit with themselves and to heal them. That is the to make the mind to have peace when they are really suffering. When they get sick, we will suffer, right? If you think you have someone to help you, you feel really peaceful, and you raise your mind up, and you feel happy, and can help the body. The mind can help the body. Because at that time we don't have the medicine. We don't have the hospital. Right now, in over here, where is it in native Indians for? That is from Asia, right? This culture is bring to them. It's come to them. When they get sick, they have like to help them. because they have medicine, the much medicine at that time. But right now, we still have it. It's like a culture. We do everything, it's like a culture right now. But can help our mind, our feeling. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's not only here. You have to think back to love. Like my mom, she has that spirit in her mind. Even Eva would smoke. but my mom, she believed. But it's okay. Yeah, to be a culture.
ก็เลยก็ขอหยุดคำถามเนาะเพราะว่าเวลาพระเพิ่นก็มาต่างเมืองเพิ่นก็คือสิเมื่อยแขกก็คือสิเมื่อยคือกันมื้อนี้เขาเลยก็บ่มีหยังก็ขอกับผู้บุญคุณนำพ่อแม่ครูบาอาจารย์พระเทรานุเทระที่เดินทางมาจากทางไกลและไกลเนาะ Mrs. Chris got thank you in ภาษาอังกฤษ then we got a chalava before we go down ขอบใจหลายๆว่าทุกคนเด้อที่ว่ามาร่วมบุญในมื้อนี้มาฉลองตอนรับพระยางธุดงค์กลับขึ้นมาขอบใจหลายๆ
Thank you, Patty. First of all, we would like to extend our deepest appreciation to all of you, our friends, who came together today to hear this beautiful message. We would also very much like to extend our deep appreciation to our honored guests. Thank you so much for being here. But most of all, we want to extend our deepest, most heartfelt love and appreciation to the monks, our venerable monks, who have shared their stories with us today. We appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for taking us with you on your journey on this walk for peace. Thank you so much. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that there's still a lot of really good food. So if anybody would still like to eat, there's plenty of food downstairs, and we hope that you would join us. And now my final message to you is, today be your peaceful day.